Yo, 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 yo. This is Dwayne Matthews, and welcome to my humble abode, which is my living room. This is my first time doing something on a digital platform, so I'm hoping I do this halfway decent. I am a third year sociology PhD student at Howard University, and I'm still just trying to navigate my way throughout the university and the discipline of sociology. My introduction to sociology kind of came through rap music. I've always felt that some of the greatest rap verses and some of the greatest rap albums were those that actually critiqued and challenged society, right? So as it relates to race, class, gender, policing, inequality within institutions. And then so it was two albums that came to mind. It was Goodie Mob's Still Standing album, this classic right here. And it was actually this guy's verse on track number 11, which is called I Refuse Limitations. Pardon my dog's in the background. You may hear this, you may hear him walking away. But track number 11, I Refuse Limitations, was the song that just stuck out the most. Within that song, CeeLo goes last, and he's talking about his he's essentially talking about wage labor, being an overworked, underpaid employee at McDonald's, and the money that he's making is simply not enough to sustain and maintain his family. And then so he goes into the underground economy. He starts doing some curb service, selling dope is essentially what gets him caught up by law enforcement at the hands of the police. And it ends with him going to jail, and his wife has to take care of their child. I'm paraphrasing this very quickly, but CeeLo does a phenomenal job by summarizing kind of like the pitfalls of society, especially being a black male within America, and how opportunities and resources aren't necessarily readily available. And if they are available, sometimes they just don't make it to communities that need to know. CeeLo does a really, really good job of summarizing being overworked, underpaid. He does a really good job by explaining why he has to go into the drug trade, because he feels like he doesn't have any other qualification or any other skill sets that can actually make him competitive within the workforce. And then so he goes for what he knows. And then it ultimately ends with him having to raise his child from behind bars. And you can imagine how the outcome of that is, how that usually goes. Not to say you can't be successful, but it damn sure makes things a little bit harder. Nonetheless, another album, or in this case, a cassette tape that actually changed my mind was actually, or that enlightened me to sociology, was actually T.I.'s trap music. I know you're probably thinking like, man, this guy got a trap music cassette tape. I didn't know they were making these back in 2003. I found a really good deal off eBay. But nonetheless, on T.I.'s trap music, he has a song up there called Doing My Job. And Doing My Job is probably my favorite song on the album, the cassette, what have you. T.I. is essentially talking about, to kind of summarize, T.I. is simply saying, like, I sell dope not necessarily because I want to, but because I have to. Options are few far in between out here for somebody like me, so I have to get it how I live, and I have to get it some kind of way in order to maybe buy a new pair of Jordans, or could be to take care of my family. The idea of trap music and the acronym TRAP, right? Trying to rise above poverty. To me, that was all sociological in its approach. So we're talking about theorists such as Karl Marx, Max Weber, Emile Durkheim, W.E.B. Du Bois, Harriet Martineau. While being a PhD student at Howard University, it also introduced me to other theories such as critical race theory, which is a legal theory coined by Derek Bell, Alan Freeman, and Richard Delgado, who came up with the term to talk about how racism is in fact institutional. It lies within housing, it lies within education, it lies within health. But nonetheless, so I am essentially creating this podcast, this blog, vlog, or me just talking into my phone as a way to bridge the gap between, or excuse me, not even bridge the gap, but to talk about how hip hop and sociology actually intersect. And so I'm coming up with the title Country Rap Tunes and Critical Race Theory. And so for me, I think the CRT is dope, and just the alliteration of the alliteration of country rap tunes and critical race theory. I think it just kind of rolls off the tongue. So with that being said, I took the term country rap tunes from one half of the mighty UGK Underground Kings. He goes by Chad Bullet. You may know him as Pimp C, the guy right there, who has been a big influence on my life. Not saying that Pimp is by far the person that you want to guide your moral compass by, but at the same time too, Pimp lets you know what's really going on in the street. He lets you know what's going on in the community. He lets you know what's going on in the world in the only way he knows how to. So country rap tunes I'm trying to use as this all-encompassing phrase that's going to talk about rap music as a whole, the gamut of the hip hop culture, right? So we started from Kool Herc to Lil Baby. We just want to look at certain rap songs, take certain rap lyrics, and certain rap movements that have been pivotal within the culture as it relates to social justice, as it relates to feminism, as it relates to capitalism, all these isms, right? These are the things that we're going to do and that I plan to do. And then also looking at it too from the perspective of critical race theory. And so not saying that we're just going to completely talk about critical race theory, but, I want to just use it as like a foundational piece because it essentially, critical race theory is essentially looking at racism at its core within institutions. And so with that being said, this is my first time doing something like this. I really, really hope that you all will join me within this journey. I want to be very clear that I do not claim to be an expert at sociology. I am simply just trying to learn as I go. And I'm trying to learn by using the art form that is near and dear to me, that has essentially raised me, while also combining it with the literature of sociology. And so just trying to bridge the gap between rappers and sociological theorists. This is just my way of trying to learn so I can become the best sociologist I can possibly be, while also still appreciating the culture that is of hip hop and holding it up high and making sure that I play my role in the art form that has already given so much to me. Right? And so with that being said, this is the introduction to country rap tunes and critical race theory. Come and join me, why don't you?